welcome back to session 4. Today we're going to talk about voting and important decisions that people make within their communities. So we're going to start by laying out all of our materials again. The first thing you're going to need is your JA banner, which we already have hung up on the wall. You're also going to pull out the table tents. Ask them again to pull these out of their desk or pass them out if you have collected them. You're going to need the JAR community poster, which I have held up in the back. You're going to need the key term flashcards, as well as your I voted stickers and your ballots, as well as your Make a Decision worksheet and Make a Decision poster that I have hung up back here for us. The very first thing you're going to do is ask students to think about some decisions they've already made today. What they had for breakfast, what they chose to wear to school, maybe what color of marker they used in a previous activity during the school day. They're going to talk about these decisions, and you're going to talk about ones that are made every day in the community on what's going to be important and help the community grow and flourish. After the students have talked about what is a great thing for their community, you're going to tell them you have a surprise for them today. That the Sweeto Donuts Baker shop is giving their school $500 to be a part of one of the 3 projects that they can determine. They can either have the choice of recycling bottles, cans, and paper, creating an art display, or they can plant a butterfly garden. There's going to be lots of controversy within working with your students of what things they want to do, which is great because they're going to have really good discussion on the pros and cons of each item and different topic that they're going to do. So you're going to pass out their Make a Decision worksheet. Students are going to be formed into groups, and they're going to fill this out together. That's going to say, should we recycle, should we make art, or should we plant a butterfly garden? There'll be pros and cons to each of these. If a group is having problems, help brainstorm with them of what things would be great. One thing that you can do as a volunteer is when they're working through this, you could bring in some recyclable items to show them things that can be remade if they're struggling to figure out what recycling actually means. Discuss that they do all the positives, advantages, and disadvantages, even if they strongly feel one thing about the other, because there'll always be negative and positives for each selection. After the students have had the choice to work in their groups to fill this out, you're going to bring it to the main board together and talk about this as a whole. So they're the thumbs up and the thumbs down on our sheets. As a whole, they're going to talk about things that are positive about the recycling, art, and butterfly garden, and also the negative of the 3. After you've talked about this, students are going to have the opportunity to vote. Remind them that voting is confidential and they are not to share that with anybody else. Also remind them that everyone only gets to vote 1 time and why they only get 1 vote per student. You'll pass out their ballots. Great idea is to rip these out before you get to class to save some time. Pass this out, and then they're going to mark which one they would like to vote for. You can have them folded in half, raise their hand when they're done, and you'll collect them. Once you're done collecting them, you're going to make a chart on the board that will list each of them and tally them as you unfold them. You can ask a student to come up and be your helper, and they can hold all the ballots and they can read it to you as you mark it on the board. The students will be really excited about this as they watch their choice with a lot of yeses and nos as they're putting things up on the board because they'll want their option to win. After you've determined who is the winner and what group they're going to do, you're going to explain about how that's going to benefit their school. For example, if they chose recycling, some things that they may want to implement is putting posters out of where they can recycle and what they can recycle above the garbage cans and recycle bins. That way students have an idea of what is recyclable and what is not. Each student will also receive an I voted sticker after they voted. You can also talk about how this works in elections and why we have these stickers. This will promote voting within the community and for people to see the importance of voting. Another great thing to talk about is while you're tallying them, they're going to be fairly close oftentimes. So talk about how each vote is important and what happens if one person wouldn't have shown up to vote if a different thing would have been the winning prize for the $500 and how they're going to use it for their school. We hope that you have fun with the iVoting session, and we'll see you in session 5.